When you don't have time for all those facts, when you don't have an hour free and need to be informed, take a listen to today's Morning Moment, coming up right now.
What truly matters is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people have borne the cost. The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country. That all changes, starting right here and right now.
You're listening to A Radio.
Thank you for joining us. You're listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. Follow us on Spreaker.com and click on the like button. You can find us on most social media platforms such as iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Go to our website, aradio.wordpress.com, for details, where you'll find more content and details on our podcasts and more. This piece comes from the ptnewsnetwork.com. This is just a short clip from that article, and then there's a quote from the Premier himself. It goes like this. On Wednesday, newly elected President Joe Biden caused thousands of people to instantly lose their jobs. With a signature from his pen, he cancelled the Keystone Pipeline permits with an executive order. The job cuts expected to be massive, with as many as 11,000 people losing their jobs in the United States. This executive order also means that as many as 2,000 workers in Alberta might be out of work, and Alberta government might be out of $1.5 billion they invested in the project in 2020. That's not where the job losses end. The Progressive Contractors Associate of Canada puts the job losses at as many as 60,000 jobs in the US and Canada when all is said and done. Alberta's Premier Jason Kenney lashed out at the president's decision just hours after that moron was inaugurated. Just think about that. Hours. Quote, "As friends and allies of the United States, we are deeply disturbed that one of President Biden's first actions," there's an asterisk on Biden, by the way, "one of his first actions in office has been to rescind the presidential permit for Keystone XL pipeline border crossing. My thoughts are with the 2,000 people who have lost their jobs today and those who are coping with the devastating consequences of his decision." Unquote. Kenney goes further and accuses Biden administration of avoiding talks regarding the pipeline closure in the previous months. Quote, "For months, we've been told that Biden administration team would not communicate with foreign governments on this or other issues, and now a decision has been made without even giving Canada a chance to communicate formally with a new administration." Unquote. Quote, "That's not how to treat a friend and ally," Kenney said in his statement. The Alberta government is calling for the federal government in Canada to, quote, "immediately enter into talks with Biden administration regarding the cancellation. If no suitable arrangement can be made, Kenney is calling on the government of Canada to respond with consequences for this attack on Canada's largest industry." Unquote. So what are you not hearing here is from the Prime Minister of Canada. Many of us know why for a number of reasons. First of all, Trudeau's a wimp. Another is that he's not the Prime Minister of Canada at all. He's the Prime Minister of those areas who voted Liberal Communist. Let me be very clear about this. He cares nothing for Alberta, and he cares nothing for Albertans. Many on the other side of the border get nervous when I say what I'm about to say. First, the Premier of Alberta needs to think long and hard where his interests lie. I strongly suggest he considers serious defensive measures as a matter of urgency. I will not go any further than that. He needs to consider that his option of a safe passage has been blocked not only by the United States, but by the next province. That is a clear violation of the country's open path of trade that is meant to be unhindered by provincial borders. And these provinces know that. I would strongly consider similar countermeasures for that province. Why does the Premier allow goods and services to go unhindered across his provincial lines when his are being blocked? I would suggest a blockade of that border for a couple of months. That would probably suffice and bring that province to the bargaining table. Sometimes you have to play hardball. Trudeau won't like that. He won't like that fact at all, that a province is a province. But his inaction is deliberate, and it cannot be tolerated anymore. The Premier must act in the interests of his province. This will send a signal to other provinces that plan to hold another province to ransom that you will pay the price. The pressure has to be put on Trudeau because he's utterly, completely incompetent, and the Liberal Communists that support him just don't care about Alberta. So don't care about them. But I don't think that Trudeau's incompetence is really that. I believe it's deliberate, absolutely deliberate. Trudeau is a very vile individual who thinks only about Quebec and the French. He doesn't care about English-speaking Canada. Sorry, that's just how it is. That's why the Premier of Alberta, even though he did speak French in his press conference, which I've edited, has to take this action. It is regrettable, but at the end of the day, he must look after his citizens first, because the Prime Minister of Canada will not. He cares more about fake climate change than he does about his country. That is why he needs to be removed from office, because he is not discharging his number one duty, which is to protect all Canadian citizens, even those who didn't vote for him. That's the point of being a Prime Minister, isn't it? Here's just a short clip from Jason Kenney's recent statement.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Alberta's government, I'd like to begin by congratulating President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris on their inauguration today. Following recent events, it was reassuring to see a orderly transition of power of the government of the United States today, respecting the democratic decisions of the American people, the rule of law, and the Constitution of the United States. The world needs a strong American democracy, and today we saw the strength of the institutions that protect American democracy. The United States, of course, is our most important ally and trading partner. And amongst all of the Canadian provinces, Alberta has the deepest economic ties to the United States and strong social connections that go back well over a century. I wish the new administration and the people of the United States every success in the coming years. With over $100 billion worth of exports to the United States every year, Alberta has a broad range of important issues to work on to create prosperity for people on both sides of the border. But as friends and allies of the United States, we are deeply disturbed that one of President Biden's first actions in office has been to rescind the presidential permit for the Keystone XL pipeline border crossing. This is a gut punch for the Canadian and Alberta economies. Sadly, it is an insult directed at the United States' most important ally and trading partner on day one of a new administration. Today, as I speak, over 2,000 women and men have lost their jobs or are heading home from good-paying union jobs as a result of this decision. My thoughts go to every one of them as they cope with the distressing consequences of today's decision. We'll continue to fight for them and for the 59,000 jobs that this project would create. Let's be clear about what happened today. The leader of our closest ally retroactively vetoed approval for a pipeline that already exists and which is co-owned by a Canadian government, directly attacking by far the largest part of the Canada-U.S. trade relationship, which is our energy industry and exports. The portion of Keystone XL that crosses the Canada-U.S. border between Montana and Saskatchewan was installed last summer. It was built following a decade of rigorous environmental analysis and approval. Thousands of union workers are being fired as we speak as a result of the decision. This decision was made without even giving Canada the opportunity, respectfully, to make the case for how Keystone XL would strengthen U.S. national and energy security, how it would bolster both economies, and how our two countries could find a path together on climate and environmental policy.
You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab, Parler, Spotify, and email. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass these links on to your friends. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all our morning moments at Spreaker.com/a-radio. That's EHRADIO, a radio. And please click on the like button. Join us Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 11:45 Eastern, for our morning moment or tweak. And tell your friends, pass the word. We only tell the truth, not what the Canadian mainstream media want you to know. This time, more than any in history, we all need to trust but verify.